Okay, I'm going to get started. So I'm calling this meeting to order. We've got pizza in the back, of course. We've got t-shirts in the back. I'd really like to go to a new t-shirt design. That one's been around for a while. So if you need a t-shirt, grab one on the way out. I won't be looking. But we have a couple of great ideas on new designs, and I'd like to use one of those. We start every meeting by me giving our vision and our mission. So our vision is we see a county with a diversified economy, vibrant downtowns in every community, expanded health care, great public education, and an inclusive community with affordable housing and excellent public services. How are we going to get there? We're going to execute our mission, elect Democrats. Did everybody get a chance to get a copy of the minutes? If you wanted one, I'm going to give you the standard minute to look at the minutes, and then I'll either entertain corrections, or we can approve the minutes and go on. Any question or comments or corrections on the minutes?
I motion that we approve the monthly meeting minutes for 2014.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes, so they're approved. So that means you're up, Dave.
As usual, I'll just repeat that we have the period starts January 1st, 2025, 2-year period. And so this is the cumulative for the period to date. Started off January 1st, 25 for $94.66. As reported last month, we had $19,567. So reporting on May, the May income, that include donations of $835, and then last month's meeting, including the raffle, was $208 and $200 cash and check for a $1243 income in May. May expense, the usual website, 102 Facebook, 185 storage unit, 84 office rent, 275. April, the event at LCCC for the April for the candidates, 322 expense. Total expense 969. This month's ending balance 19,841. It's neat to see, for me to witness all the activities going on and the enthusiasm. It's nice to be a part of that. Are there any questions? This is will be subject to audit.
Yeah, so the minutes are accepted pending audit. I forgot to announce the 50-50 raffle. It says right here on this paper that I was supposed to do that. There's a 50-50 raffle if you want to buy a ticket for, what did we say the tickets are, Barb?
$1 a ticket.
$1 a ticket. If you want to buy a ticket, we'll have a 50-50 raffle at the end of this thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the candidates who filed. I'm pretty excited about this. It's been a long time. Well, I look back to 2006, and from 2006 to now, we've never had more candidates. I didn't go back any further, so it could go back farther than that, I don't know. So I'm just going to read them off because I'm proud of these people. County Commissioner Barbara Cabot, she's here tonight. County Commissioner Lynn Davis, she didn't make the meeting tonight. We have a sheriff candidate, and I don't know him. I met him for coffee this week because he was a Democrat on the ticket. There's a couple of things about having a sheriff's candidate that are important. I think, first of all, I think it's important to run somebody against Kozak. I think it's ironic that this gentleman's name is Robin Kozad. Well, Robin has his own sign making shop. He intends to make signs that look just like Kozak. The other thing is, it just gives us a little bit more, I don't know, I guess gravitas to our argument. when we tell Kozak that we don't like 287G and things like that, at least we can say there is an alternative. And so I'm happy with that. So then the state Senate and House races: HD7, Gavin Lobmeyer; HD8, Brenda Little; HD9, Stephen Latham; HD11, Britt Tennant; HD41, Stacy Becker; HD42, Jim Van Dyke. He's back in the back. He's the cameraman. HD61, Kristen Aaron Balderas. Senate District 5, some guy named Ted Hanlon. Senate District 7, Jim Lee. And Jim almost never misses one of these meetings. He's somewhere back in the Midwest with a broken down vehicle right now, or he would be at the meeting tonight. And then Senate District 31, Shifa Hamid. State Superintendent of Public Instruction from Laramie County, Anna Cordova. And of course, Sergio Maldonado is running on that race as well, so we have a primary there. U.S. Senate from Laramie County, Jim Byrd, and we have somebody running against Jim too, and I can't remember his name. I did meet him at the state convention. He gave a little speech at the state convention, and
Bill Benavides or something like that.
Yeah, Billy Benavides.
Billy Benavides. He is the speech he gave. You all were there. I would say he's a Democrat in name only.
It was very expensive.
So anyway, those are our candidates from Laramie County. 15 candidates out of Laramie County. So I'd like to give you a quick summary of the state convention and the Nellie Taylor Ross dinner and all that. Go ahead, Jim.
First, let's give this guy a round of applause.
Thank you.
We gotta win.
Yeah.
We gotta win.
And there will be some of these races we will win. I guarantee we will win. I think we have a really good chance at every race. I don't think any one of them's a throwaway, but there are some. I promise you right now we're going to win some races. The state convention was very well attended. Partially it was very well attended because we had something like 24 people from Laramie County. So that kind of makes the rest of the convention pretty well attended. It was really high energy. I thought it went really well. The platform that they adopted at the convention, they started essentially with ours. They pretty much adopted ours. So the Laramie County platform is really pretty much the platform for the state. Then we had the Nellie Taylor Ross dinner. Again, really well attended, and again, partly because Laramie County had 3 tables. We had great people there. We had great speakers. Ken Martin, the chair of the Democratic National Committee from Washington, D.C., he was there. Yeah, with his own security guy and everything. It was a pretty scary guy. I have to admit, he did really well with that security guy. Scared me. There was a reception beforehand that most of us attended. I took the opportunity at the reception. I got to talk to Ken Martin for a minute to tell him that it was really important for people in places like New York City, where their Democratic candidates are going to win no matter what, to know just how cheap it is to run a race in Laramie County, in Wyoming, and if they have some money laying around that they don't need to spend on candidates because they're going to win anyway, I'd sure like to see it sent to Wyoming. That was my message. The Nellie Taylor Ross keynote speaker, we always try to have a woman. The woman was London Lamar she's a state senator from Tennessee. She was, I thought, a really powerful speaker. She's running for U.S. House from Tennessee right now. She seemed like young and full of energy, and made the whole event just really full of energy to me. I thought it was really, really fun. And then, of course, the next day, those of us that are on the State Central Committee had to sit through the State Central Committee meeting, which was not as fun, but at least it was uneventful. We didn't change anything that was bad or anything like that. So anyway, that was our weekend. Thank you so much for everybody that came. Thank you so much for the energy and all of those things.
Well, the silent auction, tell them.
Oh, yeah, there's two auctions. They have what they call a paddle raiser auction. And the paddle raiser is basically somebody gets up in front of everybody and says, okay, we're going to start, the Democrats really need money. We're going to start, is anybody in the room willing to give us $5,000? That's the way they start. And then they just wait. Well, the person who ran that was this young woman I know named Lindsay Hanlon. And she got somebody to give us $5,000 on that first one. And in 10 minutes, she made $16,000. And we had somebody work in the room with the computer and the Act Blue and everything, so we knew we got that money too. I was telling people at the beginning of this, last year we did it at the NTR here, and I thought it was kind of loose whether everybody was ever actually going to pay up. So we tightened that up a little bit this year. So we got these people to pay up before they got away. And then we had a silent auction. Laramie County had a lovely basket. So Barb and Connie and Kathleen and was anybody else involved in that? That was those you all were the basket. We put together things made in Laramie County.
The ironwork they got.
The ironwork from Always Manufacturing. The wall hangings.
Karen's husband did the bird pictures,
Oh,
the owl.
okay, great, yes. And they were great, and we got, of course, Pine Bluffs whiskey. That you have to, if you're gonna have a basket, you have to have some Pine Bluffs whiskey in it. Had some wine that's actually made here in Cheyenne. I don't know if people know it, but Blue Stem Winery makes their own wine. So we had some of that. Had a really nice basket. Megan Pita, who is one of our people, she comes to the meeting sometimes here, did a charcoal portrait of Nate Champion, who is my personal hero, and we auctioned that off. And I have to say I won that. Does everybody know who Nate Champion is? I could do a real quick thing on Nate Champion if you don't know. Okay, so everybody's probably heard of the Johnson County Cattle War. So in 1892, the big corporate cattle ranches, there's a lot of parallels to what's going on today. Corporate cattle ranches had decided they were going to run all the little guys off. So they hired 50 hired guns from Texas to come up here and do that. And the first guy that they were going to run off was the guy who was basically the head of the Small Cattlemen's Association, a guy named Nate Champion, which, what a coincidental name, right? Well, he held them off for a day, killed 4 of them before they started his cabin on fire, and then he came running out with a Winchester and a 6-gun, and he didn't make it. But he did hold them off long enough that a posse was able to come and stop them, and probably the posse would have hung them all, but these guys were all Republicans. I'm not making this up. And the president was a Republican. And so there was some nefarious dealings in the court, and all these guys got off. But the consequence of that was, and I think hopefully this is a message for our time, this was in 1892. In 1894, Democrats won across the board in Wyoming. So there are sometimes consequences of doing bad things. So anyway, let's see, what have I forgotten? You all were there. What did I forget about this, the Central Committee meeting and the dinner and all that stuff? It was fun. It was really fun. I wish y'all could have been there because we had a good time.
Young Democrats?
Oh yeah, the Young Democrats are there. There's a Young Democrats group in Laramie that was there, and that's really nice to see. They just got started. In fact, their caucus just formed. So they were there. That was neat. Speaking of Young Democrats, with their help and with the help of some other people in our community, I'm 90% sure we're going to get a Young Democrats group started at LCCC in the fall. So there hasn't been one of those for a long time. But
I think it was good to see, for me, to meet people face to face that I just see on Zoom, and then the networking, and then the after after party.
Oh yeah, after party was great, yeah. And actually the reception the night before was great too, except nobody could hear, so. But it was really good, it was really good. So, let's see. I guess that's it on that.
Chad, what was Luke's message to the assembled?
Maybe somebody can help me. I don't know if it was a really a memorable message or anything. I guess he's pleased with the activity. That was more than anything. I mean, not only do we have just a ton of Democrats in Laramie County, but they've done much better in Natrona County than they've done for years and years.
Also, every county is live.
Oh yeah, every county. There's no dark counties. That's another huge thing that we've just done. Up until just a few months ago, there were a couple counties that didn't even have a county party chair or anything. They had no organized party. Of course, we have no organized party either. But,
You're a Democrat.
and there's a person we all ought to thank for that too. And some of our people went up to him actually and did. Greg Haas is kind of the organizing director for the Democratic Party. It's a paid position, but he's great. Almost all of our candidates already have websites. That's because he created them for them. The app that we use to text, which by the way every candidate is welcome to use, I'll set you up and so we can text people. That cost me something like, cost the Laramie County Democratic Party something like $20 a month. And they told me, no matter how much we use it. And I said, really? but we're going to use it. We're going to make use of that. That's a great tool. Britt Tennant has already used it. I don't know if anybody made it to her launch party, but I sent out a text to Britt, for Britt, to telling everybody that she was going to have the launch party. So everybody, when I say everybody, all the Democrats in her House district. I guess the next thing to talk about, and this is all pretty exciting stuff. So we're running the voter registration pledge campaign. Laramie County added more new Democrats in May than any other county. We should, we're the biggest, right? I mean, but I'm going to brag anyway. We added 86 Democrats in May. Wow. And everybody in this room's had something to do with that. Because you've been putting out the flyers for the pledge. Joe's been trying to register people at every event that he has. I can tell you one of the things I wanted to mention, I wrote it here by hand on my notes. In 2021, I sat in voter registration booths all over town trying to get people to register to vote. I actually sat a couple of times right out here in front of this building when the guys were getting off work and tried to get people to register to vote. I think the number that I remember is I got 16 people to register to vote that whole summer, sitting out in the hot sun all the time. 12 of the people I got to register to vote registered as Republican. So it was not a very successful effort. And this is better, right? I mean, whatever we're all doing, and you're all doing it, everybody's working on it, this is better. We're still running ads on Facebook and Instagram telling young people to register and vote. And we're still running ads on Target Smart. I'm finally learning something about that. Almost everybody in here's got if they don't have one of these badges already, it's sitting up here because we ordered a whole bunch of them. So if you need a badge and you ask for a badge, it's probably up here in this stack. Don't forget to get one before you leave. I swear I saw Josephine for just a second.
She's elusive.
So our vice chair was here for a moment, but she was here and gone. She's been very, very, very busy. When we get closer to early voting for the primary starts July 21st. When we get closer to that date, we're going to start running ads in the traders and in the newspaper. And we're going to ramp up the advertising we're doing on Target Smart. I'm just kind of low-level pestering people now. I'll start really pestering people on, and the Target Smart, for those of you that don't know how this works, and this is another tool that I got from the state Democratic Party, but The banner ads you see when you go to websites and everything, the little banners across the top or down the side, or sometimes there's a little square in the middle. We're running those right now, trying to get people to register and vote, and if they click on the ad, it takes them to our website to do the voter registration pledge. Again, when we get closer, just to get a wider audience, I'm going to do some little videos, and then those will play on things like Hulu and all your streaming TV stations. And you can really target this. So what I'm targeting right now is, you guys probably haven't seen one of these ads, because what I'm targeting is I'm targeting within a 5-mile radius of the intersection of College Drive and Fox Farm Road, trying to me that seemed like where the bulk of the voters that weren't registered, or people that could vote but weren't registered, would probably be. And then I'm targeting people between the ages of 18 and 39, and I'm targeting people that aren't registered to vote. And so theoretically, I'm not paying for any advertising that doesn't go to my target audience. And who knows how effective this is going to be in the end, but one thing you can say is it's incredibly cheap. I looked just before I came here. I've hit 565 households with the ads, and I've so far spent $29.35. So you almost can't beat that for effectiveness. That's another tool, by the way, if you all know a candidate that wants to run digital advertising. I'll run the digital advertising for any Laramie County candidate, and we can do the same thing there. What I think we'll do is we'll have the candidates just reimburse us for whatever it costs us, so that you know, if it costs $30, they'll need to reimburse us for $30. But that's still very cheap. There's some other digital advertising that candidates can do, and if they're a well-financed campaign, I would recommend that they did it. But that's thousands of dollars. We're talking thousands of dollars, not hundreds of dollars. That gets me to upcoming events. Sure.
How many of you have been canvassed by the Chuck Gray and Rachel Rodriguez-Williams? They have hit my house twice already.
Well,
They
I got
hit my
a
daughter's
warning
twice.
the other day, but we weren't.
So what we are finding out is they have a lot of money, deep pockets.
Oh, sure.
So my friend was able to engage in a conversation with them before she told them to shove it. But they are bringing in so many people from out of state. There are a lot of young canvassers that don't really, they're just spitting out, right? So they get on us about paid, purchase or
Right.
canvassing, but it's clear already, just this early in, how deep their pockets are.
Oh, yeah.
And so any of you that have any time to make phone calls, to wear a shirt, to do any kind of door knocking for our candidates, we need to get out there and do that, because we are just dealing with unprecedented levels of money into the campaign. The person that talked to my friend said that they've already covered most of where they want to target, and now they're targeting, and they will target 3 more times, he said. So that's insane, of how many people they have out there right now. My daughter lives on the south side. She's already been hit. I live all the way on the north side. I've been hit twice already. So I'm just telling you, it's very concerning.
Oh yes, and that's a good point, and it's a point. Thank you, Rachel, because that's a point I should have made. And Ken Martin made this point, so I'm going to plagiarize here. A candidate needs 3 things to win a race. They need money, they need volunteers, and they need time. And we can't make more time. It's like 147 days, I think, until the election. We can't make it 148. So time's out of the question. So they need money and they need volunteers. And we really need the volunteers. I really think that is something that needs to happen this year. There's some campaigns that just are not going to get off the ground without getting some good volunteers, I promise. And I want to get every candidate off the ground.
So if you're interested and you haven't been hit up, maybe you can just sign in the back by your name that you'd like to volunteer, and we can connect you for the campaign.
Right, right.
I'm already doing bird.
Yeah. Speaking of signing up, so that's the next thing. We have a booth at Pride this weekend. We need signups for the Pride booth, to work the Pride booth.
None of the protests weekend.
There is, but the protest is Sunday and the Pride is on Saturday.
13th.
When is the protest? Joe?
On Donnie's birthday, June 14th. Noon,
What day?
at a DJ.
The protest.
I thought they said 13th.
Yes,
It
it's-
has
The
changed.
13th is a crosswalk rally, the 12th is a street rally. So tomorrow's a street rally, 24th in Warren. Saturday is a crosswalk rally on I-80, which is over here. By Hebert, Goins, which one of those.
Goins, yeah, it's pretty close to Goins.
And then Sunday is Pin the Tail on Donald, DJ, and some other shenanigans. Starting at noon at the Capitol.
So June's a busy month. June 27th is Super Day. We're gonna have a booth at Super Day as well. So there's a sign-up sheet for Super Day too, so I'll send that around. As far as volunteering at these booths, we're gonna give a lot of cool things away, and that makes it really fun. I've always had fun at these things. I will probably be there all day at both of them. So there'll be somebody that's been to one of these once before standing there with you.
Was the consensus what I was hearing, is there not going to be a protest on the 13th?
No. No protest on the 13th.
On his birthday.
No, it's on Sunday.
And then Brian's also on
Well,
the
Right.
nationally, they've been saying the 13th.
Well,
Friday.
I'm not sure.
As far as I know, there's nothing, well, there's something going on, but Joe's big protest is on Donnie's birthday. The other, in between those two tabling events, we are going to have a candidate reception at the Botanic Gardens on the 20th, the evening of the 20th. It'll be a chance for you to meet all of the candidates in Laramie County, I hope. I hope they can all make it. I hope you all make it. And this will be a huge opportunity, so tell all your friends, and I'm really advertising this one too. I've got advertisements in Traders coming out tomorrow, and it'll be in the newspaper, and I'm advertising it on Facebook and all those things. But this will be your opportunity if you want to volunteer for a candidate or donate to a candidate. This will be the real opportunity to do that. I promise you that we'll have QR codes for every candidate's Act Blue. Will be there somewhere.
You know, Ted, that's one thing, on your candidate reception, you didn't tell, somehow you missed where it's at, so.
Okay, yeah, let me just make that really clear. So the Botanic Gardens, just go in like you're going to the conservatory, the big building there at the Botanic Gardens. It's gonna be right inside there. It's a wedding venue, it's beautiful. It's probably the best venue in Cheyenne, I think. And it's gonna be catered by the LCCC, which they do a pretty nice job with food. So, I think it's gonna be fun. And I think it's a great opportunity to meet candidates. Also, both Jim Bird and Lisa Kinney have promised me they'll be there. So, we got the star power, right?
I have a question on this June 13th, if you want to volunteer, where is it at?
So the Pride is on 15th Street.
15th Street and what?
It goes all the way down 15th Street. They just kind of closed 15th Street, and there's booths all along.
They started at the depot.
Yeah,
So if we have a table there,
we're gonna have a table there somewhere, yeah.
you don't know where it's at though?
We don't know exactly where it's at. They're gonna tell us when we get there. But it's, you know, it's not that huge.
When,
There will be food trucks, all kinds of booths, informational, people selling things. It's kind of a street fair. And the candidate reception is 5:30 to 7:30 on the 20th. We'll be there at 5, but we gotta get the food set up and everything, so we'll open the doors at 5:30.
5:30.
And where is that?
We're gonna be in the lobby and then in the actual conservatory. So it should be really nice. Appetizers, and they'll have a cash bar. So it should be
really nice.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be fun. I've always wanted to do something fun at the Botanic Gardens, and I think that's gonna be great.
And if you haven't met Jim Bird and Lisa Kinney,
Be a good
you
opportunity.
would want to come and talk to them. They're a couple of really good candidates.
They both got a chance to speak at the convention. I thought they both did a really good job. They gave them 3 minutes, and I think Lisa gave a 15-minute speech in 3 minutes. I don't know if she took a breath the whole time. So the other things, the only other thing we haven't talked about is on June 24th, we're going to have a social hour starting at 4 o'clock at Hambone's Pizza. So if you throw a dart at a June calendar, we're probably doing something between protests and, go ahead. No.
The Fridays on the Plaza is so popular now. It's a great place to be seen, like flying your damn colors. It's a great place to campaign. It kind of always has been.
Yes.
And that's every single Friday night from 5:30 to like 9 through the entire summer. So if you're going to see one of those bands, it's a chance for you to be seen.
On
We've got the Pride sign-up sheet.
Pride sign-up sheet?
It never came in.
Oh, then you go back.
Never mind.
No, I already came over here.
Turn it around.
Yeah, we can check on you already.
So I don't know if you guys, oh, Joe, did you want to say anything
I
tonight?
already said it, actually.
Good.
Confusion. But again, Friday, we call it a street rally, 24th and Warren. Whoever wants to come. I do have signs, you can bring your own sign. Saturday, I-80, we do I-80 crosswalk rallies, what we call them. And they're all the same time, 11:30 to 1. We don't change those ones. And then that's gonna work into the June 14th, Donnie birthday, Bobblebalooza, whatever we wanna call it.
Where's that
We
at?
won't scream at it, now it's at the Capitol office,
Capitol.
noon to 2:33. Depending. So you can bring your own signs, we'll have signs. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of food, some ice pops. If you're hot, it's gonna be a hot day. So bring children, costumes, dogs, cats, lizards, everybody's welcome. We're gonna continue this throughout the summer, so it's not gonna just be one thing. Plus, we're gonna get into not candidate forums, but issues forums. Because I think it's important for those non-voters to figure out what's important to them and why they're not voting.
Right.
Again, 30,000 equals the amount of Republicans in this county. That's crazy. We should be able to, as Blue, convince these guys to be part of history. I keep telling Ted that, and you gotta believe it, but you also gotta believe all these guys here in Laramie County can win. Yeah, we're gonna lose, but what this does now is give us information we've never had before. Okay? That works for the next time, because we've never had data. This is giving us data.
That's right, and we've
I
got,
got a feeling there's 3 winners in here somewhere.
I think Joe's right, and I think maybe 4. And I'm also very proud of the fact we've got 2 candidates running in places where no Democrat ever ran. Senate District 31 and House District 61 were formed in 22. That was the first year we could have candidates. We've never had a candidate in either one of them until this year. We've got a candidate in both of them. Go ahead, Milford.
Ken, I'm really excited by all of these, but how many of you, if any, live in House District 11?
Say again?
How many of you live in House District 11? Anybody?
Who is that?
Where is that?
That's Brittany Tennant is there now.
Well, that's a capital.
Jason Wasserberger was the representative there for 2 years, but other than that, it's mostly been a Democrat-held seat. He's not running, so there's no Republican incumbent, and that's a purple district already, and I think that's one of the most winnable districts. And if you went to Brittany Tennant's launch party at Blue Raven last week, she is a phenomenal candidate. It's her second rodeo. and she's become just really incredibly strong as a candidate. I think she's gonna win that, but she needs help like all these good folks do.
Where in the heck do you find a list of where all these districts are?
You go online and you put in districts, and a map pops up, shows you a map. You can zoom in on it and see it by streets.
You can put in your address, it'll tell you exactly what district you're in, what city council ward you're in.
Yeah, that's really easy.
Well, you're listing all those people running for all those different districts, and I have no idea where they are
You
or
should
anything.
definitely know your district.
Well, that's maybe if you were smart like you and not stupid like me.
We can help you.
Ted, I wonder if we should bring printed maps to some of these things.
So I made a, you know, they don't really do a good printed map anymore. Down in our office, I made a map because there is not a good printed map. I'll bring it to the, well, go to our office. That's probably the best thing to do. Go to the office and take a look at the map. But essentially,
Could we take it to Pride Day?
yeah, we could. I'll do that. I've got some stuff I have to get there anyway. We'll have it at Pride Day.
And I think you guys are bringing up a good point. Like, we're here and we're pretty good at this stuff. But the average person, how are they supposed to know?
It's
Where they're at, what district they're in, what city council, school board races.
That's why I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, no, I know, but
So-
if they're not connected with you, there's still
No, I know,
thousands of people that are not
we're gonna
connected. So I
You're not
think we need
politically
to-
active, and yet you run your own protest, and she knows all about it. Who else
So the
knows all about
average
it?
people, I
I
think
mean-
that's good, if we could do
We're the only
something.
ones in the whole room who don't know all this stuff.
The one thing also that I've noticed online, if you go to some of those general, community connections websites, or some of those general ones where everybody's on, there's thousands of people, they're asking some questions too. How do I find out which candidates run, right? And then, so there are definitely people that are overwhelmed by this process. So any way we can make it more palatable is
Sure.
very important.
Well, to me, the easiest thing to remember tonight to figure out where each candidate is and everything is to go to our website, because we have a candidates page on the website, and we also have a page that'll tell you, you click on the button, it'll tell you which it'll take you to the county clerk's map that we've all just been talking about. But you don't have to remember the county clerk, just remember Laramie County Democrats.
There you go.
The one last thing before I let Danny speak. So we had that fundraising matching challenge. We were trying to raise, we had a match of $1,000. We were trying to raise $1,000 to match it, and we got it.
Yeah.
So we made so we got another $2,000 for the candidates. I'm going to tell you one of the really interesting things to me about this, and I think it goes into us having a really good chance to win this year. This matching campaign was specifically for Democratic candidates. That's the way we built it. That's the way we sold the whole thing. We got $500 from a registered Republican.
Yes.
So there's plenty of registered Republicans that want to change too. So we have, I think this is best chance we've had in a long time. And that's all I have before I introduce Danny, who's been challenged by technology all night. I'm sorry, Danny. So Danny Inglesby, is that, boy, that was lucky. Danny Inglesby is the CEO, right?
I'm the executive director.
Yeah, executive director of Boost. And you're going to ask me, what's Boost? And I don't know. So I am going to introduce Danny.
So thank you guys for inviting me out here tonight. I appreciate having your time. I apologize for not being able to put this up on the big screen, so I'll put it here. Maybe you can kind of see it. You're welcome to come gather around. I'll try to talk through kind of what it is, what's on the screen for those of you in the back. And I'm going to go really fast because there's a lot, and we don't want to keep you here. We'll be here till midnight. It's a favorite thing to talk about. So I am the executive director of the Boost Center by Blue Foundation. We are the Family Resource Center here in Cheyenne. Kind of our motto, what it says up here is a place where help feels human, hope feels possible, and no one has to navigate life's hardest seasons alone. And so that's really kind of our mission, is to be that place for the community. So what is a family resource center? They have been around the country for a long time, like 25, 30 years. They've been in Wyoming for like 3, typical kind of Wyoming, a little bit behind the curve sort of a thing. So a family resource center is a welcoming, community-based hub that provides comprehensive, coordinated services to help families achieve stability, self-reliance, and well-being. We focus on prevention instead of being reactive. We try to get ahead of problems. We're accessible, we're open to all, free. You don't have to be low income, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to sign up, if you walk in the door and need help, we're gonna do whatever we can to help you. And we are tailored, so every family resource center in the country is different. There's no two the same. They are very specific to their community, what that community needs. There's one in Fort Collins called La Familia that is connected to an early childhood center and works on building coalitions of mobile home park residents so that they can collectively bargain with the big companies that own the mobile home parks to make them better places to live. I've never heard of that anywhere else. We don't have anything like that in Cheyenne. It's very specific to the community, and it's family-centered support, so it's a multi-generational approach. We're not just looking at helping kids, we're not just looking at helping parents or helping the elderly. We look at the family as an entire ecosystem and part of our community and seek to support it in any way that we can. So this is us, our little powerful crew of 2. Of course, there's me, I'm the executive director, and Kat is our community program manager / she does 1,000 different things, social media manager, graphic designer. So we are a pretty diverse team for just being 2. My undergrad is in psychology. I have an MBA in healthcare administration. I'm working in a nursing home, the Department of Education, over here to the Booth Center. Kat has a master's in public health and comes to us from the Department of Health. So what you're hearing is state government's not a great place to be, nonprofits are much better. But with that kind of breadth of experience, interests, and education that we have, we're really able to meet a lot of needs and bring more of a multidisciplinary approach to a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with. So we are part of the Blue Foundation, which is the charitable arm of Blue Federal Credit Union. We officially opened in November of 2024, and we were stood up originally by ARPA grant funds that were administered through the Wyoming Children's Trust Fund. So that grant is running out this September. They were able to stand up, they wanted to put a family resource center in every county. They were able to get 18 going out of 23 counties, which is pretty amazing. But those grant funds run out in September, and there's no more funding from the state for any of these FRCs. We are incredibly fortunate that the Blue Foundation is just going to fund us. I don't have to go hustle for a paycheck or rent money or anything like that. All of that's covered, and we do some fundraising and grant writing for specific programs. But a lot of the family resource centers around the state are having to cut staff, cut programming, close completely. And they're incredibly important parts of the community, so if you have any opportunity to talk to people about that, that's my little plug for them. Our values are that we are relationship-based, we're strengths-focused, we center dignity, autonomy, and hope, and we provide long-term support when needed. So we don't deal with like clients or patients or participants, we deal with neighbors. These are our neighbors in the community who are having a hard time and need someone, and we're trying to be that person. We know that we all thrive in connection, that connected people and people who are able to live in community just do better in general. They're happier, they're healthier, they're more productive, all of that sort of stuff. So we seek to really shore up that sense of connection and community. You know, in crisis is isolating when things are going bad. A lot of times, even if it's not our fault or something we did wrong, we feel a lot of shame for failing or not being good at something. And so it takes a lot of courage to go out and ask people for help and admit that you're not doing okay or that something's not going right. So we really focus on the strengths and the dignity and that sort of thing, and hope. You know, it's bad now, but it can get better, it will get better, and we're gonna be here with you until it does. let's see. So this is kind of, I'll skip through them really fast. It's pictures of the inside of our building. The important thing that you know is that when you walk into our building, you don't see an office. You don't see a desk. I mean, I have a desk, but it's hidden. So over here on the right is a picture of, we have a children's play area. It's a little kid-sized kitchenette, puzzles, games, books, stuff like that. That's our living room. It's a couch, a fireplace, a TV, some chairs, books. Here's our kitchen. We even have a dishwasher. I don't know why, but we have one. Refrigerator, and then we have in the back that you don't see when you come in what we call the resource room, which is we have information on, I want to say every organization in town that provides support to people, 98%, like for sure. And so we keep that updated. We keep track of what's new and what's not happening anymore so that people don't have to go from place to place to place to try to figure out who can help them and what's available to them. A little bit of the theory behind the Family Resource Centers. So we're based on the protective factors. These are the 5 protective factors that were developed by Prevent Child Abuse America and the Children's Trust Fund Alliance, which are very focused on preventing child abuse and neglect. And so the first one is parental resilience. This is the idea that parenting is hard. No one does it perfectly, and parents need to understand that it's okay, and that sometimes parenting is just more than one person can handle, and it's okay to ask for help, and when you come out on the other side of that, you're going to come out stronger and wiser and with more knowledge for the next time. The second one is social and emotional competence of children. That's when parents can recognize their child's emotions and then help the child start to recognize their emotions. There's something called affect naming, which is kind of cool if you think about it. You've probably experienced this. You ever been really grumpy and really mad and you're just walking around like stomping and being angry, and then you think, man, I'm grumpy. And then you feel a little bit less grumpy. Naming a negative affect lessens the negativity, but naming or identifying a positive one increases it, builds it back up. So if you think, man, I'm happy, you feel happier. If you think, man, I'm mad, you feel less mad or sad or whatever it may be. So it's helping children identify, recognize their emotions, and then be able to regulate those emotions and express them in an acceptable manner in order to be able to maintain healthy relationships with the people around them. And then social support, again, we thrive in connection. Everybody needs those interactions to be their best that they can be. And families as a unit need positive social connections with friends, with the community, with the school, the doctor's office, the lady at the grocery store, whatever it is, those positive social connections are huge and incredibly healthy and preventative of burnout and some of the more negative things that can happen for families. Concrete support is just access to supports and services like tangible physical things that you might need in a crisis that can reduce stress and support growth. So being able to ask for and use those resources is an indicator of strength and health in the community. When people feel comfortable and safe to reach out and say, I need help, because they're sure that they're gonna receive that help, that's a wonderful thing. And then finally is understanding child development, knowing what is a reasonable expectation for a child at a certain stage of development. I want you to notice I didn't say age. The age does not always equal the stage. So you need to know where the kid is at developmentally, not necessarily chronologically. And it's holding central the idea that the parents are there to teach and support their child's growth, and it's okay not to know everything and have all of the answers. Also, if you guys have questions, just stop me. This is super conversational. Holler at me, and I'm going really fast also. So this slide represents, we call it the pair of ACEs. So the first in the pair of ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. Has anybody ever heard of that study, taken the quiz online? Yeah. And then the bottom one is adverse community environments. So this top one, adverse childhood experiences, comes from a study that they did in the 90s in California. They had, I probably get the number wrong, I think it was like 20,000 people that were all customers of Kaiser Permanente health insurance. And they really tracked their health outcomes, their social outcomes, and then asked them a whole bunch of questions about their childhood experiences. And they found that people, so it was just a 10 question, have you experienced, was your mom depressed at any time when she was pregnant with you or in your childhood? Did someone in your family have a mental illness? Did you experience physical or emotional neglect? And so you just got a point for every question that you answered yes to, that was something you experienced in your childhood. And the higher the ACEs, the higher the rate of the stuff you would think, like incarceration, you know, substance abuse, mental
Becoming
illness.
a serial killer.
That.
They have
But-
insane abuse stories.
Yes.
A lot of serial killers do.
But also you have increased risk of things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, like physical health, that chronic stress from living in that chaotic environment when you were a child has a long-term physical effect on not only your social and mental health, but also your physical health. Which is really dreary and gloomy, but don't worry, we're gonna flip the script in a minute. And then so growing on that, they thought, well, if the household is disordered, what happens if the whole community is disordered? And so they started studying things like poverty, discrimination, poor housing quality, violence in the community, lack of opportunity, and they found the same very strong correlations, because even if this person had one ACE up here, one adverse childhood experience, but they grew up in a place that had a high ACE score for the community, it evened them out, right? And if you had both, whew, double whammy, right? The important thing that you need to know that they tell you when you go through the training on ACEs is not destiny. You can have 10 ACEs and be emotionally and socially healthy and wealthy and do all sorts of great things. It's a factor. It's something to take into consideration at a population level, right? So like over thousands and thousands of people, you cannot take ACEs and apply it to one single human and like know what's gonna happen to them. So then, flipping the script, we started looking at positive childhood experiences. So the really exciting news is that the presence of positive childhood experience is a stronger indicator of adult functioning than the presence of adverse childhood experiences. So you can have the ACEs, but then if you have the PCEs, those have more weight. The positive ones have more impact on how you're gonna do in life. This is just, when you're talking to policymakers, a lot of times they want numbers. So this is higher PCEs lead to more life opportunity outcomes. I don't know if you can see the graph. The gray one is the people who have 6 to 7 positive childhood experiences, and they're higher in employment and getting college degrees and having an income over $50,000. What is a positive childhood experience? They're really kind of intangible things. It's feeling able to share feelings with your family, seeing your family as a safe place and a source of support, feeling that your family looks out for each other, feeling like you belong and are accepted at school, having at least 2 non-parent adults that take a genuine interest in them. So those are all things that we can, what does this have to do with Family Resource Center, right? That's what we're trying to do here. So when these families come to us, when we go out in the community, when we create events, when we do all of this stuff, we're seeking to shore up, to provide, to, help those protective factors and support people in providing positive childhood experiences for their kids, because that prevents child abuse, it prevents child neglect, and it prevents or is a protective factor against all of those really terrible things that can come later in life from the ACEs and the stuff like that. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Anybody familiar? Yeah, okay. So the Booth Center operates, a lot of what we do is based on this model. When someone comes in the door, the first thing we meet is their basic needs. Are you cold? Are you hungry? We'll feed them. We have a refrigerator, we have a microwave, we have a little hot plate. Clean Eats, the restaurant next door to us, is incredible, and they keep our freezer stocked with their frozen meals all the time, so that anybody that comes in there, we can offer them something warm to eat. So we start there. Are you safe? We meet their physical and biological needs. Then we talk about their safety, which, physical safety is down, but when you go up a little bit, you're looking at like mental safety. Do you feel safe talking to us? Do you feel safe in our space? Things like job security and financial security play into that sense of safety and security. And then love and belonging. So when they come in there, genuinely, we are happy to see any person that comes through that door. I have not had a person come through that door that was not just we're always happy to see them. And so we really try to express that to them and make them feel safe and belong, and like they belong, and then we try to help them work to feel that way in the rest of their life. And then esteem, so when we have someone come in, one of our neighbors come in having a problem, and we help them figure it out, or they figure it out on their own and work through it, we celebrate that with them. You know, sometimes it's a gift card to go get dinner for someone. Sometimes we'll take them out to lunch. We've done balloons, confetti, you know, whatever it is. You need to feel celebrated and like somebody is rooting for you and proud of you and happy for what you're doing. And it's incredibly motivating to keep going on to the next thing. And then finally is self-actualization, which is, you know, you've heard people, you climb the ladder and then you reach down and pull up the person behind you. That's kind of that highest level. And so when we have people that have done something great, we invite them back to talk to other people. We ask them to volunteer in some of the programs, stuff like that. This one, heavy on the psychology, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. State-dependent brain functioning is also something that we work with a lot. So down here in the bottom is your brain stem, and then you get into your midbrain and then your cortex. Everybody's heard the story about your cortex doesn't fully develop until you're like in your 30s, right? So your brain stem is the first to develop. That manages things like your heart rate, your level of arousal, your body temperature, your breathing, respiration. It's the lizard brain, people call it sometimes, right? And then in the middle is kind of your social and emotional brain. So if you think about like kids when they're like 10, 11, 12, those teenagers, how obsessed they are with who's friends with who, and I like this boy, that's that emotional brain starting to really kick into gear and develop. And then finally you get up to the cortex, which is the smart part of your brain, the human part of your brain, where you're able to engage in abstract thought, reasoning. This is the part of your brain that tells time. You're down in your brainstem, and if you're working in your emotional brain, you know, have you ever been like in a really freaky situation or gotten in a fight with somebody or been super emotional and it feels like it took 1,000 years or it was over like that? It's because that sense of time is offline. So when someone is in crisis, when they're upset, when bad things are happening, they're usually down kind of brainstem or emotional brain. They're not able to think really clearly, we're not logicking, we're not reasoning well. So when they come into the center, we do something that's called the sequence of engagement, right? So the first thing you have to do is regulate. Get that bottom part of your brain, calm down, let it know that it's safe, everything's fine. Most people regulate in connection, again, with other people. It's called co-regulation. So if somebody comes in, and everybody who has kids learns this with your toddler, right? If they're screaming and throwing a fit and you scream back at them, what happens? They're gonna scream louder, right? But if you're calm and then they start to calm down too. So the first thing we do is try to get the person calmed down. We talk to them, we sit with them. A great trick for that, if anybody's interested, is to be present and parallel. When you're facing somebody, it's confrontational, even if you're trying to help them. Turn and face whatever the problem is with them and talk real calm, and they're gonna calm down quite a bit. Then we relate. You don't want to take advice or information from somebody that you feel doesn't know you or care about you, and you don't have to know a lot about a person. You just have to have some sort of connection, some little tiny piece of common ground where they say something and you say, I felt that too, or you say something and they say, yes, that's what it's like. Then you have that relationship. Then you can start reasoning with them. Then you can start having hard conversations about, you know, what are we going to do next? What are your options? That sort of thing. Okay, psychology class is over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. These are some of the services that are offered at the Boost Center, and we are constantly changing, adding things. Right now we're really in a situation where we're working to identify service gaps in Laramie County and figure out how we can meet them, or if we can support other nonprofits or organizations in meeting them. So we offer a financial pathways program. We're connected to a credit union, guys. It's, you know, it's a thing. And I think the really neat thing about that is it is manned by volunteers from the credit union, so people who work in finance. And we put them through some training, like what you guys just got, I don't talk as fast. And they learned some things like, motivational interviewing, strengths-based stuff. And then we pair them up with one of our neighbors, and they work one-on-one. So you don't go sit in a classroom and have somebody yap at you about how do you make a budget, don't buy $5 coffees, lay off the avocado toast. It is, yes ma'am.
I have, somewhere in all this.
Yes.
I lost, where physically is your center?
We are,
And
yes.
how do all these people on the street who want to come to your center find out where it is and what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no billboards that I've ever seen.
No, we do not have
Signs.
billboards.
No, but
Yeah.
there's got to be posters or something, there's got to be something somewhere that people see it and they say, oh, maybe that'll help.
Yes.
But where are you physically located?
We are
that you have a
physically
refrigerator?
located at the Blue World headquarters, the big, by the roundabout.
Okay.
There's that
By
little
the
strip
VA.
mall out there, and we're out in the corner of that. So there's about to be a New Mexican restaurant. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you that. Then there's Clean Eats, then there's us. And then there's Sunlight Dental. So we share a wall with the dentist's office. As far as how people find us, we are working on that. So we
I
have.
never saw the word boost on anything in this city, and even in that little corner you're talking about.
Yeah, we have a sign out there. We do have a sign out there. And I brought you some Boost swag, so
Yeah.
I'll catch you after. So we are on social media, so we have Facebook, we have Instagram, that's fairly new. I just started in December, and we got that up and going like February-ish. So we would appreciate any, likes, follows, shares that you guys might want to do. We spend a lot of time with community partners, so, Community Action, United Way, CAMIA, Needs, those places. We spend a lot of time interfacing with their executive directors or their staff.
But what do they do for the people that you say you're supposed to be helping and coming to your building that nobody knows about? And that's what I'm curious about.
What does who?
You've been talking about all this stuff you're doing
Uh-huh.
and all this psychological import.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how do you get somebody in Cheyenne who's having a problem
Mm-hmm.
to find out about you.
Yeah, we get referrals from the other organizations, is what I was saying.
So you don't recruit customers.
We do, so we table, we'll be at Super Day. We have community events, we just did a bedtime bash for young families to bring their kids and learn about how to do healthy bedtime routines and give away free stuff. There's a lot of free stuff there. So we're fairly new and we're trying to grow. There's only 2 of us right now.
Are you advertised in that community events part of the paper that talks about it? All the things that are coming up that different groups are doing?
Sometimes, I think our bedtime bash was in there when we have a big event, but we're not just in there all the time.
One of the reasons that Danny is here talking to all of us is we're advocates for Boost now, right? That's the point.
That's right.
So everybody in this room now knows about Boost, and if we find somebody that needs help, we know where to send them.
Yeah, please, we'd love to have them.
Yeah, I heard news about 2 months ago when I was walking the dogs at the animal shelter, and I just saw somebody who just rolled her 2 suitcases down from the bus stop on the corner, and it's like, I need to get here, and
So that's one of the things, so the financial pathways we talked about. We have partnered with United Way for the RUDA program, which is Ride United. So what that does is they can call the Boost Center. Both of our phone numbers are cell phones, so people are able to text, which sometimes people feel a lot more comfortable with. They can email us, whatever, and let us know that they need a ride, and we can set up a free Lyft ride for them to where they need to go. So it can be just about anything. We can't do like, I need a ride to the bar or, that sort of thing. But I need a ride to get groceries, I need a ride to work, I need a ride to the bus stop, I need a ride to the shelter. We can set those up, and it doesn't cost them anything, and the Lyft driver will come pick them up and take them there. You can also do it via 211, but 211 is 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. We're accessible usually between 7 and 7 Monday through Friday, and we'll do it on the weekend. If somebody texts my work phone, I always have it with me. We'll do it. We do parenting classes and parenting support. So right now, we're getting ready to start a book study on a book called What Happened to You by Dr. Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey, which is a lot of that neurosequential stuff, you know, like the different brain levels. But it really helps parents understand why they're parenting the way they are and how they can be more intentional when they're parenting their kids and break some of those like generational curses type of things, you know, some of those ruts that we get stuck in. We offer a lot of just emotional or peer support. A lot of times people will come in and they'll sit and just visit with us for several hours. We don't like do anything or give them anything, but just having someone that they can sit and talk to, bounce ideas off of. We can offer, you know, suggestions, things like that. We get quite a few people who just stop by because they need to visit, they need somebody to talk to. We had one lady who is unhoused right now, and she comes by sometimes and she's living out of her car, and she'll come and plug her skillet in and cook her lunch and wash her dishes. And she came with her sewing machine the other day and finished a cross stitch she was doing. We do whatever we can, which is something we're really fortunate, not being tied to a lot of like federal or state grant money with a bunch of rules. We can, within reason, if I can justify it to the board of directors, we can probably do it. And so we really do try to be really innovative and accommodating and just try to meet those weird little one-off needs that arise, like when you're living out of your car and you don't have any place to plug in a sewing machine. So we do collaboration and support with other community programs. So we'll be out at the Blitz Build with Habitat for Humanity out at Pronghorn Crossing next week. We'll be doing that. There's a wonderful nonprofit in town called Paul's Mountain that supports kids with reading disabilities, dyslexia, stuff like that, by providing low or no cost dyslexia screening and then one-on-one tutoring. They didn't have a spot. The library, they couldn't always get the private room and it'd get too busy. Now they come over to the Booth Center and use our resource room 4 nights a week. And so we're able to do stuff like that. We are working on right now an auto repair program. So, you know, it's almost impossible to live life without a car, especially in Cheyenne. And so sometimes you're just like one bad alternator away from catastrophe. So this program that we're starting would pay for that repair or anything that makes your car legal, safe, you know, functional. We would be able to help pay for that. So we have a kind of a verbal agreement regarding the funding and how things are going, but nothing is actually in paper yet. Stay tuned, we're working on it. And then we're working on a foster youth financial support to support kids that are aging out of foster care. Because may or may not know this, like a 16-year-old cannot get a bank account without an adult to co-sign. And a lot of time foster parents are not willing to take that risk for a foster kid. So we're collaborating with Blue to see about being able to open those accounts for kids so that they're able to work and save their money and get a little bit ahead of before they age out of the system. And then that's it, that's my spiel. When families feel supported, everything changes. That's what we believe. Here's a picture of the outside of our building, our address, it's all really small. I have rack cards and business cards. You guys are welcome to take them since you probably don't have a telescope with you. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
I think it's wonderful that Blue Foundation is supporting this. Or is it kind of year to year?
No.
Have they made an actual commitment to fund it in perpetuity? Or?
So we, for all intents and purposes, are the Blue Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm on paper, we are just their way of supporting the community, of getting to meeting those needs, getting that help out there. I report to the Blue Foundation Board of Directors.
So you never need to worry about the program going away? Or?
As long as the foundation exists, the Blue Center will exist unless I do something really dumb.
Okay, great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It is, it's wonderful.
Any other questions? No? Okay.
If you're a kid, can you get a job at 15 that pays you money?
Believe you can, yes ma'am.
If you can get a job at 15, why can't you get a bank account?
That's an excellent question, I don't have an answer to.
It's like they used to make husbands have to sign before wives can get married.
Oh, yeah, back in
That's what it sounded
1974,
like.
that was the one.
Really, till
Oh,
then?
yeah. I couldn't get a credit card when I got
Regular
out
bank
of
will
college.
give a kid a bank account.
Not without their parents signing in the 80s.
And they don't have a parent, then SOL.
So thank you guys very much. I brought prizes if you guys want some. You're welcome to come get them.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Rubber duckies are very popular.
So, does anybody need a, buy a ticket for a 50 round? Oh, sure, please.
I just wanted to quickly state, that you guys have probably heard, but we have, Juntos has entered into a lawsuit against the sheriff's department for the 287
Yes,
agreements.
there you go.
We have two other entities in partnership with us, and so ACLU is working on our behalf to put in that lawsuit. Basically, the idea is that Sheriff Kozak skirted around the county commissioner process to get authorized, so there was no community hearings, there was no feedback, he just did it.
For the agreement?
287G agreements. Yeah, so the 287G agreements allow the law enforcement to, we call it polymigra, where basically the sheriff's departments are now acting as federal ICE agents, right? So they get very lax, no training, right? This is all related to ICE. So they're going to go ahead and do this lawsuit. Don't know much about it, other than we're just part of it. And so if anyone has any questions about it or cares about it, but one of the things that Sheriff Kozak said is, well, we haven't heard any, it's all been great. We haven't heard anything, even though we've had multiple postcard writing parties, we've had calls out to say this isn't right. He's just saying, oh, everybody wants this. So if you have any pull with anybody to reach out, and also especially voting not to re-elect Sheriff Kozak, because he's starting to act like Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and get a big head about this, right? Also, more counties are signing these because the state is not giving them money, so they're seeing people can now, specifically brown people, immigrants, can now be profitable, right? And so the longer they hold somebody, the more money they make. So I am imagining our county commissioners will bend over anyways and sign these appropriately, but at least this will say, we're gonna stop this for the meantime while the county commissioners get their crap together. And so that is also an important thing, is to have conversations with the county commissioners to say this is not how we want to do policing. We're working on getting the numbers, that this is not making us more safe, this is not raising our minimum wage, this is not making things better for us. In fact, this is hurting the Wyoming economy. So we are part of that lawsuit. If anyone has questions, just let me know, but be aware that that's
Way back when, you said there was a spelling difference between who's running and who don't want to run.
So Kozak is the current sheriff
Okay,
with a K at the end and a K at the beginning. Kozad is the other guy.
how does his
It's C at the beginning and a D at the end.
C and D, K and,
He'll also have a D behind his name.
Yeah, but we want the one with the D behind his name.
I know, I'm just saying, he signs and stuff.
So Rachel, you're saying that the county commissioner had the county commission had a legal process and the sheriff didn't
he
follow
skirted
it?
it, yeah.
Do the county commissioners agree with that?
Probably, I imagine they will.
About them.
That they will just, but even if they retroactively go back and sign it, the lawsuit still captures that. Yeah. So and this will be a message to others that are signing on that you have to go through the proper process. And hopefully more speedily.
If it's successful, right?
Yeah, so we have seen since this administration, this most recent administration, an explosion of 287G. If you go and just do through the ICE, they have the 287G map. you can see where it is. So like, right now, it's even embarrassing because literally Colorado has one 287G agreement signed, right? So there's a little dot. Wyoming, you can see all of ours. I think we have now 12 signed. There's 3 different types of 287G agreements. Laramie County and Sweetwater County have all 3 signed. So if somebody like me gets pulled over, because of the way I look, they can immediately take me into detention. Because if I don't have if they have any questions. Now keep in mind, we have also at the legislative level and policy level invalidated authorized driver's licenses from other states. So just because we don't like it. So this is insane. We have also now legislation on the English proficiency of truck drivers. So this is definitely, we feel targeted and
I think that's a safety thing though, too.
remember that, and here's the thing, people are like, well, you just want all these illegals to come over. We can have both conversations about the narrative that, yes, we want to keep our country safe, and we also want to allow what the Constitution allows, which is due process.
Yes,
Legal immigration is a civil process. So if you have a problem with that, then you have a problem with the Constitution. So that's what we're saying, is that there are rules that are being changed in the middle of the night, right? And then you're just invalidating. So how far back do we want to go? How far back do we want to go when your family came over here without papers?
Really?
Right? So this is the thing. Don't buy into that negative narrative, right? Immigrants built this country, they will continue to build this country, and we cannot have a country without immigrants.
Here.
I think
June
so.
20th is also celebration for Juneteenth. Martin Luther King Park. Starts at 10 o'clock, goes till 3 o'clock. So if you're in the neighborhood, the west side, Martin Luther King, go out and celebrate. Celebrate the African American.
Thanks, Joe.